We purchased Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League before it came out. We pre-ordered it so we could play it, do a review, and post a video on it.
Yep.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't want to rag on it. I really don't want to rag on it. It's not a good game. Or that's ragging on it. That game is not for everyone. If you're the kind of person that enjoys playing those Destiny, come in and do your dailies and do the same mission every day or the entire time, that's your kind of game. The gameplay was very monotonous, and 2 out of 4 of the characters felt like trash to control and like maneuver the world.
No, that's probably skill diff, by the way.
I'm sure it is.
Or preference diff, by the way.
Actually, no, because even when the reason I took to Deadshot and Shark was because that intro bit where they let you play as all of them, they just felt better.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, here I'll meet you in the middle. I'll correct both of us. It's not a skill diff; it's a preference and movement diff.
Yeah.
Because Captain Boomerang to me feels yucky, and I'm sure he can feel better with upgrades over time. But that brings me to the second quirk that it had. We played that game for 4 hours. Half of that time was spent in the tutorial, and it was still holding our hands after that.
And granted, if that game was supposed to be never ending, I'm glad it did all of that for us. And because you had 4 characters to learn different movements for. And instead of you just figuring out the movements, they made you go through them all so you really knew what you were doing. You know, I'm not mad at that.
No, the actual beginning part where you actively switch the between the characters and you play as all of them, that was good. I think that's really good tutorial development. Because it's like, hey, we're going to give you the option to have all these different guys. They all do the same thing, but not really.
Yeah. Except they do, because you attack and then you shoot.
Yeah.
Or you shoot and then attack.
The real only big difference between all of the characters was the delivery of the melee attack and how you traverse the world. Excuse me. And the class of gun you were able to use. Like Deadshot was able to use snipers and automatic rifles. Captain Boomerang used snipers and shotguns.
All I knew was King Shark had big minigun, and that's the only gun I ever used.
And then Harley Quinn used like a deagle or a revolver and a shotgun. So they all do the same thing fundamentally. They all shoot guns. It's how they deliver that that's different.
Yeah, me personally, maybe it wasn't my type of game.
Give me all of the guys. Let them all do the same thing if they're gonna do fundamentally the same thing.
Yeah,
like genuinely. If I think it'd be funny if it's, hey, King Shark has a minigun and tiny ass Harley Quinn walks up next to the guy playing King Shark. I also have minigun, but she gets like a movement debuff because she's not using an attuned weapon.
Yeah. Or like you said, proficiency. Like you get a damage buff for using this type of weapon on this character. Yeah. I think it's completely fair.
But like if you're the guy who plays every game with snipers and you're gonna have your aim carry your gameplay, let anyone play the sniper then. But like, why are you limiting what Borderlands didn't limit what people were able to do? Destiny, I don't think limits what you can do. Especially
because if you liked King Shark's movement, but you wanted to play sniper rifle, you couldn't.
Yeah, like I think King Shark was the only one who had like really good vertical movement. Like you could just jump like straight up.
Yeah, hey man, King Shark, you do, he do.
Because I'm pretty sure even like I was playing Deadshot almost the entire time. He has a jetpack, very straightforward thing to use in most games. You were absolutely running through and going to places way faster than I was as King Shark.
And like to me, do I think that's balanced? It's like, okay, well, if you like movement, you're gonna play King Shark. But for some reason, when we played multiplayer, if we both assign King Shark in the beginning, it lets you. But when you get into the game, we both couldn't play King Shark.
Yeah, it has to randomly assign one of you it, or no one gets it, and you have to like fast swap to the guy to have the guy.
I don't understand.
Which, you know, whatever. If you're playing with friends or randoms, communicate who you want to play and coordinate, whatever. But like back to the movement thing, it was so detrimental how fast you were going. There was times where I died or despawned and respawned closer to you because you were just going so fast.
Yeah.
Like there was times where I would select a mission and I'd be like, oh, let's go to this one instead. But you were already there. So like the area you were allowed to play in closed in on me. Yeah, even though I was the guy who got to choose the mission.
Yeah, I didn't understand that part.
Like the fact that I was on my way into that direction still, and it still was like, get your ass in the area, was like, I'm the party leader. What?
Which is weird. So I believe in the Division, right? Because I played a little bit of the Division when that came out. It didn't matter where the other people were in your party to start the mission, but everyone had the same like to-do list.
Yeah.
You just didn't have to be there as long as someone's doing the to-do list.
Yeah, right.
So I was a little surprised about that. Besides, like, you know, okay, there's a cutscene that happened, and you both got to watch the cutscene.
And there was instances where it would say like, hey, we're about to start the level in 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. And that's fine. That's normal. You know, that means it's going to drag you over to where you need to be for the mission. But it was very strange to me that he was going not infinitely faster, but marginally faster than I was as King Shark. And even though I was the party leader, even though I chose the mission we were going to do, because he was going so fast, the world border got dragged in on me before I could even get close to the area.
Yeah.
Which made me feel it was very sour to me because it was like one of my biggest complaints about Ark early on when we used to play that game as teenagers was I didn't like that you were constrained by needing to be close to your party members.
Yeah.
Like you were forced to stick in a circle unless you did dedicated servers. Which just it felt yucky. It felt really gross. Like imagine an infinite game or a game with imagine GTA, but all 20 players have to be in a relatively confined circle. It doesn't work. Like the world felt really big. I really liked how big the map felt.
Yeah.
That is something else I wanted to talk about. I didn't like how there was only enemies and activity on rooftops. And I didn't like how it felt like you were just disconnected from the rest of the world once you fell to the street level.
You know, to be honest, the whole game was kill the guy at the rooftop, turn around, there's another guy at the other rooftop.
The entire game was rooftop rumble.
Oh my goodness.
And that's not even getting in like the whole game aside, like that's not even getting into the I'm a DC fan. Oh, they did this to this character, and that like objectively, if you're not a Destiny, I'm gonna grind the same level to get all of my dailies and my loot. It's just really stale as a game, and at first, Prey and I were going to do we're working on a Pal World thing. It's a little late now, but we're working on a Pal World video. And we tested the script with 2 different videos. And we have a format that we want to do. And we tried writing a script for Suicide Squad. And the other videos, it kind of just like came to us, right? Like we were writing it and we just knew what we wanted to say. But immediately you and I were at odds because it was like, okay, well, do we share the Carfax? How do we share this information without just ragging on the game the entire time?
Yeah, right. Because there's, you know, just us talking about the game versus us trying to display the game. Oh my goodness. I want to give everyone that makes the game like, hey, this is what you featured. This is what I'm going to like want to talk about. That's my highlight.
We want to give every developer that we ever do bargain bin on, we want to give everyone an honest chance. And It kind of sucks just because this new format highlights what we wanted to do before better, so older videos are gonna suffer from it. But it's like when it's very across the board, not just between me and Pre, but with the community, that a game is just objectively not fun or good. That makes it very hard to do a video without like doing a live streamer clipping like, dude, this game's ass. Like, oh, what? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then it's tough, right? Because we're not Rotten Tomatoes.
Not at all.
I'm not going to tell you that, hey, dude, your game is not fun because you did not have this in Rotten Tomatoes 99% quartile.
But that's how, like, in our experience, that's how much we didn't care for the game that we played. That was one of the jokes that made it to the first script that we worked on together.
Yeah.
One of the jokes that we made in that for the end line was, this thing is about as fresh as Avatar the Last, or not Avatar the Last Emperor. This thing is about as fresh as The Last Airbender on Rotten Tomatoes. And the joke was going to be, we were going to display that it had a 5% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, and I don't know, but
and a lot of people are like, oh, well, the story is going to be done throughout the DLC and there's new characters and new missions. That would actually make me want to rag on the game, because it's the same way that this is an argument that I actually made to Pre in the writing the script for Power World, one of our demo videos, and this video. An update, a DLC, or downloadable or DLC downloadable, purchasable content, DLC, and updates should not make your game complete or more fun. If I need a day 15 patch to make my game fun, you weren't ready to release the game. If I need a year 3 patch that adds the rest of the lore so I have a complete story, you did not give me a complete game.
Now, granted, if you do add more story lore with the DLCs, I'm not opposed to that at all.
If you expand on the story, or you tell a continuation of a story through DLC, a la The Last of Us 1 had like this side thing where the kid went on her own mission, right? Stuff like that's fine. Or like the Batman Arkham games, it told, the last one, Arkham Knight, told its story, and then you had a DLC where you played as Batgirl and Robin, and you were trying to find Batman before the events of that game.
Yeah.
If you want to tell additional stories surrounding or expanding on the game, that's fine. Give me the full story of your game though before you just start doing updates. Like, I get that like Destiny has this whole thing where a season is this entire arc, right? And it'll tease things throughout the month, and then throughout the year, and then by the time you get to the end of the year or the season, you get the full story for that season.
Yeah, because that's a whole like expansion pack,
right?
So to speak,
WoW, yeah, expansion pack. WoW is a perfect example of that too. We're telling isolated but additional stories.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you don't give a rat's ass. Can I spoil the ending of the game for you?
Sure. And there's your spoiler warning right there.
Here's your spoiler warning for the video we're not going to make, or for the game that we did not enjoy.
Yep.
By the end of the game, you fight Brainiac. Whoa, spoiler alert. You fight Brainiac and you kill him. And then there's an offhanded comment that says, there are 13 Brainiacs in the multiverse. So your expansions or your seasons are going to be you fighting these different Brainiacs throughout the seasons.
Oh, and that's how they bring in more of the characters.
Yes.
Because they're characters that were taken over by Brainiac in another universe.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll get to that in a second too. That actually is a super spoiler and a little bit of game theory. But it ends on such like an offhanded note where it's like, all right, guys, we got to get back in there and we got to fight these other Brainiacs in different dimensions. So it's like you don't actually get a story end. You get a high five. You killed the 5th boss in the game.
Huh?
By the way, we played 4 hours of the game and we didn't even get to the first boss, which isn't even a Justice League member.
Dude, I was trying, dude. We was trying to rush it. You know, I was shooting, I was doing the combo. And by the combo, I mean punch, shoot, because you know that's the crit. And then if you wanted to heal, you gotta do shoot, punch, and then you know you heal. But that was the only 2 game mechanics. But
I actually got tilted at the game because I watched some story elements just so I knew what we were in for. And I had a rough time frame of what we were gonna see. I was not aware because I never got to see like in the broader world gameplay. I didn't know that they introduced Green Lantern when they do, but you can't interact with him at all. They show Green Lantern as a boss and they say, we got to go kill this guy. He even has a marker on your map that you can like highlight as a waypoint to go to. But as soon as you go there, he just starts summoning like magic guns and he just shrugs you off and he starts botting you.
You get blasted.
And so the story beat to that is you're supposed to go to the Bat Cave or like one of Batman's places, and you're supposed to get a yellow lantern to upgrade your weapon so you can harm him. That doesn't happen for another 2-3 hours out of the 11-hour game.
You know?
The way that it works is you fight this giant robot, then you fight the Flash, then you fight Green Lantern, and then you fight Batman, and immediately after you're done fighting Batman and they kill him, you fight Superman. And then you go fight Brainiac, and that's the end of the game.
I mean, hey, you know, we killed the Justice League.
Cool, so that goes into my second spoiler. I'm glad you said that specifically. It is theorized that we did not actually kill the Justice League.
Well, there's 20 multiverses that we didn't kill all the Justice League
No,
members
we
on.
didn't. We didn't. It's theorized we did not kill our Justice League. Would you like me to explain it? Because we actually did see this this plot spoiler, and it wasn't really pointed out until recently by people.
Go ahead.
So you remember how we had Flash before he was taken over by Brainiac? Do you remember what Captain Boomerang did to him?
He took off his hand. Or his finger,
Thumb. Yeah, he took off a finger. When the Flash comes back later, when he's taken over, he has that appendage back. The Flash does not have a superpower that... He has super healing, but he can't grow back appendages if they're severed.
Hey, look, you know, if you're telling me Brainiac didn't Frankenstein his finger back on...
So the common thesis here is, you know how like there's those goopy monsters that are like the main enemies?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say there was a plot hole that didn't get covered up.
No, the theory, the running theory with the community that has been like analyzing this game is that we haven't actually killed the Justice League. We've killed what appears to be Brainiac-controlled clones or carbon copies of them with like their memories and their skills. And the only reason people are thinking this is because we're supposed to see the Flash and the Green Lantern in season 2 or 3.
Yeah. So going back to storytelling on Rotten Tomatoes here.
That was my pivot back into that. If they had like shown us one of the guys and said, "Oh fuck, this guy was captured. We got to go save the rest of the guys." That's the hook for the seasons. Cuz like, okay, cool, our world is safe now, but we found out the Flash was copied. They made a copy of him. So now we have to go beat other Brainiacs so they stop making copies of the most powerful people in the universe. Instead, it's a very dry. I'll show you after the podcast, but it's like it was just a very dry and like nothing ending, and a lot of people are just like, what did I sit here for? None of the deaths of the Justice League are ceremonious. It's all just like when you kill the Flash, Captain Boomerang tries to piss on him.
Huh?
He unzips his pants. You obviously don't see nothing, but he He unzips his pants and tries to piss on him, and the rest of the Suicide Squad's like, "Come on, man! You killed your superhero. Have some class."
Yeah. Anyway, so Rotten Tomatoes.
1%, 1% fresh.
So the bargain bin, or is that a bargain win?
That is a bargain. I lost $140.
All right, and
Actually, no. technically, BCMG lost $140.
all right. Can we talk about how we tried to refund it on Steam?
We played 4 hours of it, and Steam denied my refund.
All right, and
that's how bad the game was. Pri and I don't refund games. We wanted to refund this game.
All right. Is there any other recaps or any other points you want to highlight for that part?
I didn't want to do the video, or I didn't even want to buy the game and try and do the video on Suicide Squad, because I was a little disheartened by a conversation that Pri and I had about it beforehand, and seeing people talk about it pre-release kind of was making me uneasy too. And Pri talked me into it, and I said, you know what? If Pri's down to give it a shot, whatever, we'll do it. I tried to like the game. I genuinely tried to like the game and have fun with it. I really did.
Yeah, right. So, and if we're gonna say, oh, you guys got talked into it because everybody else says the game was bad. Well, if someone says the game is bad, but no one has played the game yet, and you haven't seen anyone play the game, we don't know if the game is bad. We haven't played it ourselves.
Yeah, and the crappy part about that too is a lot of these like devs, or not devs, a lot of these news outlets are given very early access to certain games for their reviews to do media on. And in the time where like Game Informer from GameStop or whatever outlet you follow, IGN, by the time that they get their early preview copy, like beta gameplay copy, and then they do the release, a lot can change in a game.
Yep.
Because the purpose of those copies is also for reviews. They want to know what you think of the game. They want to know what can be fixed.
Look at Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie. You remember that one?
Yeah, the entire world changed the perspective of that movie. But like a lot of stuff can change with a game in between the beta or early access gameplay and its release. I've done some game testing for with a couple companies, and the games when I watched them release, they were not substantially different games, but a lot of things that we commented on as a group, they were fundamentally changed for the better, or for the better as far as the group was concerned, the focus group, which is cool. So it's really disappointing when it's like, hey, we're gonna give it the college try anyways, just to make sure it's bad. And then, you want to really like something. Because I am a DC fan. I like comic books. I'm a DC and Marvel fan. A lot of people liken it to the disappointment of Marvel's Avengers from Crystal Dynamics. And I think that's very fair. Especially because it's an only online game. There was a point there where me and Pri couldn't even invite each other to the game.
That was tough. And it's a multiplayer game.
Yeah, only online multiplayer. The in-game inviting people did not work. We had to figure out with the shift tilde or shift tab for Steam. That's how you invited someone. I'm hoping that the system for console players worked better because, but yeah, that's not to say that people don't like it at all. The comic historian, for any of you who are familiar with him, he said he likes it a lot, and that's why I came to the conclusion this is a for Destiny players kind of game, because that was one of the things he likened it to, and once he said it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. The game where you have to log in daily and play the same mission and shoot stuff all day to get what you want out of the game. Or it also does the season that lasts a year, and it tells the story over the course of that season. So that's a fair assessment, but the disappointment is definitely if you're a fan of the comics or DC, or you're a fan of the universe that they said that the game takes place in, you were probably let down. And as a casual audience member or a casual gamer, you probably didn't care for this game at all.
So that's a hint to me. So I didn't really care for the game at all.
Yeah.
Besides Big Shark, that guy.
Yeah, conceptually, it seemed like you were vibing with the characters. It seemed like conceptually you liked what was happening.
Oh yeah, hey, I don't know who Big Shark was until I played the game.
Yeah,
all I know is he's like the Hulk.
I liked that he talked like Dave Bautista's character Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Big Shark.
I'll show you some clips of how that character talks, and then you'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's just Big Shark."
All right, but anything else you want to talk about?
Don't buy the game. I'm sorry. It's if it's on a Game Pass or something, then you can play it if
it's
you really
on sale.
want to.
It's on sale, and you really want to play the game.
That would have to be like an 80% sale for me. Like I don't think there's a price point where that would be worth it to me.
Yeah.
Or correction. If the deluxe edition was $40-$50, maybe. Like deluxe edition having the pre-order skin, because that was something I found out later. Buying skins is just buying the color palette swaps.
You don't even get a different outfit?
I think you can get a different outfit, or it's you get palettes for an outfit you unlock. But also each time you buy that from their store, it's $10 a pop for color palette swaps.
All right. Well, Valorant skins cost how many coins? And Valorant coins, not like USD.
The last bundle I wanted to buy was 100 bones.
Well, there you go.
Hey, at least I know Riot made a good game.